We must be careful of our country being taken by neoliberals. My worry is they're privatizing everything that matters to us. To erode the state will be led by mafias for you. Zuma did what he did because he didn't want to let effort to fragment a black vote. And it is sponsored by white monopoly capital. And again, Zuma never speaks about white monopoly capital or Floyd.
You must have watched the video of Julius Malema speaking, and if you haven't, you are missing one of the most fiery political takedowns South Africa has seen in recent years. In a community engagement event that quickly turned into a verbal battlefield, Malema did not hold back in his critique of former President Jacob Zuma, declaring that electing him as the head of state was, in his words, the biggest mistake South Africa ever committed. And when Malema speaks, he doesn't tiptoe around history or diplomacy, he delivers straight to the point. Malema's comments are particularly striking considering his past. Once a staunch ally of Zuma during his tenure as ANC Youth League president, he has now transformed into one of Zuma's harshest critics. The former president, who led the country from 2009 to 2018, oversaw a period marred by corruption scandals, mismanagement, and political patronage that critics say eroded public trust in government institutions. Malema argues that Zuma's presidency weakened the moral and institutional foundations of the nation, leaving scars that continue to affect South Africa's political and economic landscape today. Malema didn't just stop at criticism, he laid out a detailed indictment of Zuma's leadership. He argued that Zuma's administration normalized corruption, turning what should have been criminal acts into accepted practices. He claims Zuma prioritized personal gain over national service, betraying the revolutionary values of the liberation movement and leaving South Africans to pick up the pieces. Malema described Zuma's presidency as a dark period for the country, characterized by the destruction of public trust, weakened governance, and the collapse of essential state institutions. One of the most contentious issues during Zuma's term was the state capture scandal involving the Gupta family. This scandal saw state resources and state-owned enterprises exploited for private benefit, creating a network of patronage that benefited a few while leaving the country in financial and moral turmoil. Malema highlighted how these actions set South Africa back decades, particularly in economic development and institutional credibility. Today, unemployment remains high, governance challenges persist, and public confidence in the state continues to falter, troubling legacies that Malema attributes directly to Zuma's leadership. Malema also targeted Zuma's newly formed uMkhonto weSizwe (MK) party, calling it an opportunistic attempt at political survival rather than a genuine effort to serve South Africans. In his view, Zuma is once again trying to rewrite history and mislead the public. He stressed that voters must remember Zuma's track record in office, noting that the former president served himself rather than the people. Malema's criticism resonates with broader frustrations in South Africa, where many citizens feel the lingering effects of corruption, unemployment, and mismanagement continue to hinder progress. For a political figure like Malema, this kind of blunt assessment is not unusual. He has built his career on fiery rhetoric, uncompromising attacks on perceived injustice, and an ability to turn complex political debates into narratives that ordinary citizens can grasp. By highlighting Zuma's failures, Malema taps into widespread public sentiment, positioning himself and the EFF as advocates for accountability, transparency, and social justice. Beyond the political theater, Malema's remarks carry deeper implications. They signal a continued shift in South Africa's political discourse, where past alliances are increasingly irrelevant in the face of national accountability. Malema's change from defender to critic also illustrates the fluidity of political loyalties and the enduring power of public opinion. In many ways, his statements serve as a warning to current and future leaders that personal ambition cannot come at the expense of the nation. Malema's speech also included sharp commentary on Zuma's economic legacy. The former president, according to Malema, transformed government institutions into vehicles for personal enrichment. This legacy, he argues, has left South Africa with weakened economic structures, stalled development projects, and a state apparatus riddled with inefficiency. The cost of Zuma's governance, Malema asserts, is not just monetary, it's the erosion of public trust and the long-term consequences of normalizing corruption. Humor even found a place in Malema's speech. In his signature style, he used pointed irony to underline Zuma's failures, noting, for example, that while Zuma claimed to serve the people, his actions suggested he was more interested in serving his own interests and those of a small circle of associates. By blending biting critique with a touch of wit, Malema ensured his message was memorable and resonated with audiences across South Africa. Political analysts have noted that Malema's comments are part of a broader trend of reckoning with South Africa's recent past. Many citizens continue to grapple with the consequences of Zuma's presidency, from state capture to public service failures. Malema's vocal condemnation, therefore, is more than just a political statement. It reflects the broader frustration and desire for accountability that many South Africans feel. His remarks also serve as a reminder that leaders are remembered not only for their promises but for their actions and the tangible outcomes of their governance. In conclusion, Julius Malema's attack on Jacob Zuma is a vivid example of South Africa's ongoing political drama. It mixes history, accountability, and entertainment, illustrating how one political figure can provoke national reflection on governance, ethics, and leadership. The EFF leader's words are sharp, unflinching, and calculated to make South Africans think critically about the choices made in the past and the direction the country should take moving forward. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with Malema's assessment of Zuma? Was his presidency really South Africa's biggest mistake? Let us know. Your engagement helps us bring more political analysis straight to you. See you next time.